Hey folks, we are just going to do our weekly check-in real quick. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. This is, I don't know what number week we're on, but we're in the 6th of November through the remainder of this week. I just kind of want to point out we do have right about a month left of the course. So, things are going to start kind of speeding up a little bit quicker. We're going to have several things sort of introduced to us in the next few modules. So I just want to make sure that you guys are prepared for the workload that is to come, because it does really speed up here at the end. So we're in module 6 this week, as we were last week as well. Last week you should have completed your Ed puzzle for lesson 14, as well as lesson 15 textbook reading. We've kind of changed formats like we talked about last week, where we're doing the remainder of the lessons for this course through an OER textbook. So lessons 15 in module 6, and then all of the lessons from module 7 and 8 will come from that same OER textbook. Those materials will remain open to you here. So if you need to look at those anytime during the week, you can always go back there. We don't have any more readings due this week as long as you completed everything from last week. However, we do have the PA assignment, which, as we talked about last week, is a new kind of assignment. It's just sort of like a reflection upon the reading that you did in your textbook. This week, we've got 3 questions. They need to be answered in 5 to 7 sentences each. So you've got 3 questions, 5 to 7 sentences each, 15 sentences or so. You can break this into paragraphs if you'd like to. And honestly, I would prefer if you would do that. It just kind of helps with the organization a bit for me. But I'm going to kind of look through each of those questions real quick in case there's any clarification that's needed and some things that I've already seen sort of pop up. So the first question is to identify and describe key characteristics and defining events from the art from prehistory. So I just kind of want you to tell me, like, what are the main points there? If you want to kind of like elaborate a bit on, Paleolithic, Neolithic, ancient Egyptian, and then ancient Greek and Rome, that might be a good place to start as far as like the key events goes, and then you can go into a little bit more specifics from there. The second one is to compare and contrast 2 works of art from the Paleolithic period and the Neolithic period. And I also want you to provide images and labels for those. So please do remember, you do need to label these and let me know which one or what the name or like the location is for each of these pieces. Now, I'm only asking you, I know that's a little bit confusing how it says 2 works there, but it's just 2 works total, like one from Paleolithic and one from Neolithic, and compare and contrast those 2. The third question is to explain why the Greeks and Romans deemed the human body to be perfect. And that video that is in the Ed puzzle folder here, which one is it? This one, the spear bearer video. If you didn't watch that one already, that one will be a good thing to give you some elaboration on that if you need it. Also, please remember that these are graded assignments. You'll see these pop up in the grade book, and they are Ed puzzles as well. So make sure that you do watch all those videos. The other assignment that we have this week is the discussion board, Life Without the Neolithic Period. This is based on that reading, but also I just kind of want to hear your thoughts about this. This is a good discussion, I think, to have with your peers, because the answers for this might vary, and there is no like right or wrong answer. I just want you to think abstractly and think hypothetically for this. So reading through it, as we learned from this module, the Neolithic period was revolutionary in the way that it changed the way that humans existed and defined the way of life, how the way of life would continue for thousands of years to come. If it were not for the changes that occurred during the Neolithic period, you would not be living in your houses, close to other people in towns and cities, protected by laws, and definitely would not be learning about art history through the LMS system like Blackboard. Now, some version of this life would obviously still exist, but let's think a little bit more abstractly during this discussion specifically. Consider for a moment that the Neolithic period never occurred and society remained as it was in the Paleolithic period, nomadic, moving from place to place, constantly in search for food, water, and shelter, living only for the moment and never thinking about the long term. Answer the following questions in your post. What do you think that your life would look like if the Neolithic period never happened? Now, this can be realistic or it could be not realistic. If you want to make up a whole, like, something totally different than the Neolithic period happened, you can do that. If you want to talk about your life specifically, like, the climate that you live in, the location that you live in, it might, differ a lot than, someone else being in a more extreme climate or, in more extreme circumstances. So, just think about how this would apply to you. Next, list some pros and cons to not having a Neolithic period come about. So this is asking you, like, if the Neolithic period never occurred and we remained nomadic, what would be some benefits to that? And what would be some cons to living nomadic? There are answers to this. So, definitely, there's not a lot of wrong answers, but there definitely are answers to this. So make sure that you, think abstractly for it, think hypothetically. And then lastly, are there people today that still live in this way? Who are they? And what, if needed, could we offer them to offer a post-Paleolithic lifestyle? Some people that live nomadically might not want a post-Paleolithic lifestyle. They are essentially living in, a Paleolithic lifestyle. So, what are some examples of these people? And are there people that, are not living this way by choice? Are they living this way because of other circumstances? So, like I said, there are no wrong answers, but try to be somewhat practical and respectful in your thoughts. And also, please make sure to do some personal research to back up your opinions and consider that many people may live in a nomadic lifestyle, not by choice, but because of lack of societal resources. So the instructions are to create a thread in response to the prompt explaining your research opinions. It's okay to answer in bullets to each of these 3 questions, but make sure that not to list, but to write complete sentences, 250 words minimum. Make sure to cite any information that you gather from online. And you need to respond to 3 classmates in a thoughtful way and add to their discussion in a respectful way. So that's the discussion board for this week. And then lastly, we have a quiz on lessons 14 and 15. This is going to be pulled from our textbook reading, as well as the Edpuzzle from lesson 14 and the Edpuzzle videos that are also included in that folder down here. So, make sure that you're aware of all of those things because they will all be listed in the quiz. Now, something else I would like for us to start thinking about kind of here soon is our project, our final project. This is going to be in our projects folder down there at the bottom of the modules page. I do have a set of directions here for you that will help you, kind of help set up this project. I'll also have a video listed here with an explanation on the project specifically. So I would recommend watching this week and kind of getting familiar with what the final project is going to look like and what it is going to ask from you, especially as we start getting into some more of like the art history components of this course, which is going to be where a lot of this project information is going to be pulled from. So if you can, try to watch this video sometime today or later this week and just kind of be thinking about what you want to do for your project. But that is it for this week. You've got 3 assignments, the PA assignment, the discussion, and the quiz. And then I want you to start looking at the final project as well. If you guys, one more thing. I haven't even made an announcement about this yet, but there is another extra credit opportunity that just opened today on campus. I'll post about that just here shortly, hopefully. But yeah, definitely, if you have not taken advantage of all of your extra credit opportunities, definitely do that as soon as possible. We are kind of coming, like I said, to the end of the semester here. And remember, if you do all 3 extra credit opportunities, that's a total of 6 possible points you can get added back to your total grade. So, don't let that slip away, especially if you're needing some extra credit points. Take advantage of that opportunity. And if you have any other questions, just let me know, and I will see you guys next week.